All right, guys, a couple of things as we get going here today. First and foremost, this little show that we're doing on Thursdays is now available on YouTube. So if people actually want to watch our beautiful faces as we're having conversations about sports, food, parenthood, everything else, you can do so. Currently, it is housed through my YouTube page. That's with Trey Elling. That's where the Sport of Life YouTube page is. And, of course, you can check out the audio version through 1027ESPN.com. The other order of business is that, Brian, you and I need to welcome Matthew Odam back into the fold.
Welcome back.
With old school Houston Astros Nolan Ryan practice jersey in tow. Matthew, I feel like it's been about a month. The last time we were on a blimp together. Since then, you've gone and celebrated your 50th in Scottsdale, and lots of other crazy things have happened. Welcome back, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just a young man in my 40s last we met. High up in the air, the highest people at South by Southwest, possibly. Yeah, turned 50, had a week of eating, a week of partying, and then went to Scottsdale for a couple days of golf and some leisure time. My wife was sweet enough to give me a hall pass for 48 hours. And now I'm back on the grind, got my Nolan Ryan batting practice jersey on. I've got a parent-teacher conference with my 4-year-old daughter's teachers today, and I told her, go pick a shirt out of the closet for Daddy that you want him to wear to school today. And she went straight to the Astros jersey. Of course, she calls them the Go Astros. And got me my Nolan Ryan, and so I slipped it on, and here we are. It didn't even fit a year ago, and now it kind of does, so I'm feeling pretty good about being 50.
Her only issue is that all of her Ks are backwards.
First ever parent-teacher conference?
We went to something kind of similar at her little small school when she was like 2.5, but this is the first one. They've already sent us the full report from her Montessori, and it's, I would be lying if I didn't say I just sat in the parking lot and cried and wept over
Eats paste.
How touching it was. It was. It makes you feel really good to know that all the sacrifices you've made have paid off, and she's just a special kid in her own right. So
she got a lot of sunshine and rainbows on her report card in Montessori school.
She got a lot of, very friendly, very observant, very good with math, with numbers and with letters, very kind, very sociable, very good with the teachers, a leader, etc.
So like her mom.
Just like her mother.
Yeah, we've had pretty good luck at the parent-teacher conferences. Now, we have moved to the era where my kids are getting in trouble occasionally here and there, and the modern school getting in trouble not only involves the occasional email or phone call to mom and dad, but they have something called think sheets now. Have you dealt with this with your kids, Brian?
No, I've not seen think sheets.
Think sheets, as much as I will criticize the current curriculum of the public education system, I like the think sheet because the think sheet forces you to write down what you did wrong, what you can possibly do differently, how it affected others. So it really forces you to actually sit there and think with whatever issues you've created. Unfortunately for my son, who decided to show his underoos to his classmates at recess.
Need a couple pages of think sheets.
Last year, half a page on the Pokemon character on his underoos to begin with. Mm-hmm. But it was a good lesson for him, including, son, I understand what you were trying to do there. You were trying to be funny in front of your classmates. Did they laugh? Yeah, Dad, they laughed. Well, guess who didn't laugh? The teachers who were standing around who actually saw you do that. So understand your audience if you're going to work blue. As
a former class clown, I will say get the teachers on your side before you get the kids on your side.
Can I get a copy of those sheets? I'm going to send some to Bryson.
Oh, boy.
DeChambeau?
Yeah.
That was a little bit of a meltdown by him, which was apparently calculated by Rory and his team to give him the silent treatment, which really bothered Bryson the entire Sunday afternoon.
It's funny because Bryson's been holding it together for a solid 18 months. His PR team has got him shaking hands, kissing babies, making reels, doing everything right. And then one afternoon not getting talked to, and you just go right back to being a crybaby.
I'm not the Bryson defender that you are. I know you're a big Bryson guy, but but wasn't he just asked to wasn't he kind of asked a question? Wasn't this whole thing taken a little bit out of context?
The clip was definitely taken out of context. Right. It was a couple questions, and he said no. But it was he wouldn't have talked to me.
Right. Oh, he wouldn't even. He had no interest in talking to me.
Yeah, it's like, okay, buddy. It's like, you're fine.
And they're like, we did that on purpose because we knew it would get to him and he would completely melt down, which he did.
Yeah.
And probably because he hates him. And so why would you want to talk to somebody you hate? Trying to focus.
In fairness, Rory hates everybody, so we shouldn't take that too personally.
I love Rory.
You're a Rory guy?
Oh, huge.
You guys
Rory
love
guy.
Rory. I tolerate Rory. Rory's a little bit insufferable, though.
So my buddy Charlie Warzel wrote a piece for Golfers Journal, and I thought he nailed it. The thing about this Masters, which I really kind of identified, Rory is the most human of the Grand Slam golfers.
Yeah. Is he the thing that wrote about the vulnerability or the most human?
People are and KVV and Schuster they had a great NLU Sounds from the Masters, which I highly recommend you listen to. But Rory's just he's the most human out there. I mean, Tiger and Jack were robots; they were killers. So,
golfers are some of the weirdest dudes.
True.
And there's some of the most closed off and cloistered and not used to the normal world. And they grew up pretty cloistered and country clubbish. And Rory is just kind of more of a real dude, which is what we all want from our professional athletes and from our public figures, I think, until they say something that we don't like. And then we get upset that they're not who we want them to be once they do start talking. So I'm just glad that he, shows himself to be who he is, at least a little bit.
I'm always happy to see somebody suffer what looks like an epic meltdown that is something that could potentially ruin a career, but get their act together while they still have time to overcome that. And that's what he did on Sunday.
Well, I saw somebody say, he misses the putt on 18. He walks off the green. He gives his daughter a kiss, his wife a kiss, and they were like, that's when I knew he was going to win. Right? He just missed an opportunity to win it. Could have been totally debilitating. Stops, centers himself,
touching grass.
Yep. Coming back to home.
God, that
and
would
then goes
been,
back out.
Nothing would have been, and I'm more of a majors guy now than, I don't watch golf every week the way I used to, probably because of kids and other things, and Tiger not being around. But that would have been the most heartbreaking thing I've probably ever seen happen in sport. And it was probably the most raw emotion I've seen since maybe Jordan winning either after his dad died or Jordan winning his first one when he was in the locker room clutching the trophy, after having to overcome the Celtics and the Pistons. And, it felt super real. And, I think, 95% of the people I know that watched it shed a tear. So that's rare.
I found myself, I don't know how this happened, but everyone was out of the house, so I was just watching it by myself, and that putt to win it on the 72nd hole, I was down on my knees, come on. And then I did what you see on Instagram. I did the Michael Cera fall from Arrested Development. I was just like, come on.
Didn't you just know he was going to miss that putt on the 72nd?
Yeah. No, the minute it went in the bunker, I was like, okay, there's our bogey. And Rose was scary, man, because he shot 66 and was dialed in.
I didn't think he was going to win in extra innings.
But Rory
did? I thought Rose was going to win because he was just so machine-like there down the stretch.
Well, that's because somebody who collapses like that also, they don't tend to get it together. That's what was impressive about him actually coming back and completing the Grand Slam is you could see how defeated he was when he missed that putt. My family was about to walk out of the restaurant that we were eating dinner at on Sunday, and we stopped just to watch, just to see him clinch it or whatever. When he missed that, I'm like, well, this is over. Justin Rose, congratulations. But he came back and won, so I was happy to see that.
And he did that all day. I mean, he started with a double bogey, and then he rinsed it on 13, and then he missed that putt on whatever it was after that amazing approach. So he kept coming back and kept coming back when you would think he'd be done. I mean, on 12, I told my friends, I said, it looked like, this was going to be exciting, and it was a heavyweight fight the first few holes, and now Rory's just kind of casually walking away with it, and 5 minutes later, he put it in Ray's Creek.
Now, this isn't going to be a show entirely about golf, but we do need to get a golf coach update for you after I ask how your golf was played in Scottsdale in celebration of your 50th.
So I got a few cases of Pro V1s as gifts, and they are all
is that
a type of golf ball, a type of Titleist golf ball that's, for good players, which I once was. And they are now all being used as pillows by rattlesnakes.
Sounds about.
I shot a lot.
You shot your age on each 9.
I wish I shot my age on each 9. It's just tempo for me. Just tempo. I get so excited. I've got a really nice swing, I must say, but I get so excited. I have terrible tempo, and it's just not a game for somebody with my
temperament.
Not just temperament, just kind of my neurological makeup. So I had a really good time on the golf course. I'll tell you that much. It was 75 degrees and sunny mostly, and I had a really good time. And that's all that really matters.
That's a good dovetail. I need a coach for my neurologically divergent players because
That's you though.
No. I need an assistant coach that I can take to 5th grade boys and say, you're going with Coach Odam today. Right. Y'all go eat.
Spaz out.
Yeah, y'all go eat hot dogs.
There's a reason I said a prayer and a thank you when I had 2 girls. I'm not interested in hanging out with 11-year-old spazzy boys.
And they are all that way, too. Let me tell you, somebody who has an 8-year-old son right now who hangs out around other 8 to 10-year-old kids.
I'm triggered when I see it. Even on the playground, 11-year-old, boys of any age, really.
Yeah, I've told my daughter, I was like, they basically stop at 14, and that's what you have for the rest of your life. So pick the right 14-year-old because, no. But
so what? Is there some sort of Lord of the Flies protest happening against you?
No, it's
right
just
now?
It is a tough.
So are you really coaching golf to kids?
Yeah, I'm coaching
middle schoolers,
15 kids, co-ed, 5th to 8th grade, and so I'm getting the version of each.
Are you coaching your daughter?
I am.
Your daughter's a stick, right? I mean, we played together once. Is she still good?
She's looking pretty good.
That's awesome.
She's looking pretty good. And my son is too. I mean, they're
she's
both
just a multi-talented athlete, isn't she?
Oh yeah, she's a hooper.
She's talented.
Where'd she get her mom, I guess?
Yeah, totally. There's something in there. My sister's a really good athlete, but no. So it's tough because it's like it starts with I'm getting everybody to go through the warm-up routine, be a team. And it's just like, the 8th graders want to make jokes and the 5th graders want to shoot hoops. And it's like, guys,
dude,
stay focused. I mean, yesterday it was just like, and we're about 60%, maybe 70% through the season. And it was just the low point for me as a coach. I was just like, who wants to play golf today? I was like, raise your hand. I was because if you don't, go watch the soccer
That's
game.
the coach's name in Bad News Bears. Studebaker, Wanamaker. I can't think of his name.
Mathau character.
Yeah, he's just like drinking in the parking lot. That's going to be you by 90% through the season.
It was a tough day yesterday, but we got through it. We got some good reps in. We worked on. I videoed everybody's swings, and I'm going to do a little video work so that they can take Easter weekend and see how terrible they are. No, they're getting better. They're getting better, and we've got May 4th marked down. We've got it circled. We're going through course strategy. We're big tournament out at Blue Lake, AIPL.
Do you have a stick on your team? Do you have a?
I've got a few.
Oh yeah,
I've got a few. Yeah, I mean we've got 2 8th graders, 2 7th graders, 6th grader. Yeah, we've got.
Is this through your club or through the school?
It's through the school.
Okay.
Yeah, St. Francis. So.
Buttermaker is the name of the Mathau character in Bad News Bears. So what I have in volleyball, because inevitably all kids, their minds are going to wander. They're not going to be locked in on practice. I have laps to run or other things that we can make them do. You've got to figure what that is on the golf course, because you can't make them run laps around hole number 1, or maybe you can. You've got to figure out some sort of
shotgunning beers,
quasi-physical
Brought to you by the new Tripping Springs from Jester King Brewery.
Shots 'em alort, guys. No, you got to figure out what that is to get them locked in and say, look, if you want to choose not to pay attention, not just you, but all your teammates are going to suffer.
No, Wednesdays are tough. My assistant coach has other commitments, flag football commitments. So
flag football commitments.
And so, and they're doing a lot. So Wednesdays are hard because it's just me. It's 15 on 1, and I've got to get everybody.
Yeah.
God, I mean, why do you do it?
I don't know.
Is this court sanctioned?
Initially, I thought I was like, I
keep him from the kids.
I was like, I'll be at a golf course 3 days a week. It'll be a sanctioned event by the CEO, all good things, and then it's like you forget. It's like, no, you're coaching. You don't get to play.
It's not very chill.
No, it's not as chill as it could be. But no, it's great. I mean, it's just, again, I love the game.
You see a kid hit a sweet wedge or make a putt or something. I'm sure.
That's and I did get to play. Like we took 6 kids out on Sunday to Hancock and played all 9 and let them play their own ball and just kind of talk through them, different things about the game. And, it was a lot of fun. I mean, that's why I'm doing it, is because these kids are, it's a good game to learn. It's a good game to learn. And then they were all talking Masters, and of course they were all like, yeah, Bryson.
Cool. Go sit in the corner.
I was like, watch Rory. Rory will do something special. I haven't gone back. I almost did like a little mindfulness practice with them.
That's what they need. You don't make them run laps. You make them sit still.
Yeah. It's like, let's yoga with Adrian. Let's do a little golf meditation.
Yep.
It's the Pete Carroll way. It's some combination of those two things. I mean, you rule with, I say rule, you manage with carrots and sticks, right? Sometimes you give that incentive, and sometimes there are punishments that get doled out based on certain things. Like if they don't do a drill correctly, but they're trying, you don't want to punish them there necessarily. You want them to do it until they get it right, but do so in a soft enough way, right?
Well, if you use the carrot as a stick, then they don't know if they're coming or going. Then you really got them.
got them on.
Got it really back on their back foot.
That's really how you motivate rabbits physically.
Don't stay on your back foot. We need you to go through the ball.
One thing that I really enjoy about youth sports coaching is, and this isn't a revelation, managers talk about this all the time, is that every person that you are responsible for, you have to treat a little bit differently. And that's the case with kids too.
Yeah, totally.
So the way that you treat a handful of kids, there may be kids, the neurodivergent kids or whatever else, that you have to treat completely differently. But at the end of the day, if you can find the key to get through to all of them, they do still come together as a team and hopefully do great.
It's incredibly similar to hosting or co-hosting a radio show with Matthew Odam. You just kind of...
What are we talking about?
You got to be flexible. You got to meet him where he is.
I made that last joke, and I looked up and look at the way Jackie O is looking at me, just like so disappointed. Or maybe that's Come Hither. I can't tell.
I don't know.
I get those two looks mixed up a lot.
I actually played one of my few rounds of golf that I play every year on Monday in Houston at. Oh? Have you guys heard of Champions Golf Course?
Yeah, I played it.
Almost qualified for the U.S. Open there once.
Really nice course.
It's a great course.
Really nice course. And I only play scrambles at this point.
Yeah.
I need to find somebody who hits big off the tee box because I don't like swinging off the tee box. That's how I mess my back up every time I play golf and have to hit off the tee box.
You turned 50 last week?
Yeah, well, 47 going on 75 with my lower back. But I had a career highlight on the golf course that actually had to do with technically a putt. I was going to say swing, but technically a putt. I hit a 50-foot putt to get us a birdie on a par 3.
Dropped a bomb.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm always the first putter, show everybody else the line. Putted it, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's staying pretty straight there. And then sure enough, it dropped in at 50 feet.
And you have to be decent if you're going to go first, because if you hit the ball way off line or too hard or too soft, it won't really show anybody the line.
There was a lot of that happened throughout the afternoon, too. But that one putt, I will always think about when I think of the 4 or 5 good golf shots.
That's why you keep going back.
I think I've got a scramble on Monday. Actually, it's the Mama Betty's.
You're doing the Mama Betty scramble?
Yeah, I've got
Nice.
second year in a row.
Do you need a D player?
No.
Okay.
No, we've
Just
got a D
asking.
player.
Cool. I've got a few of those Pro V1s left.
Last year, my putter was hot, and I was the first putter, and just said, I was like, you guys don't even come up here. You don't even need to come to the green. We got this. So,
But what's your specialty? 5 through 7 iron?
Oh, no. I would probably say that, gosh, that's hard
Your
to
wedge
say.
game's kind of nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, I have not been playing very
listen
well
to
at
this
all, or very
7
much at
handicap?
all. The putter is the putter's really in good shape right now.
Okay. Look at this guy.
So
huh?
I'm expecting
Putt
to
for dough,
roll the ball well.
or queso, as it were.
I always like playing with big hitters off the tee box, but at this tournament, there was a guy, he was a long drive champion that you had the option of
subbing him in.
Yeah, subbing him in on one of the par 5s or something. And this guy was a freaking gorilla in terms of how he looked and also how he swung. But he kept hooking everything to the left.
Like Bryson.
And he kept getting angrier and angrier. I'm like, oh
Like
gosh,
Bryson.
this guy is going Hulk smash here. But you paid it if he doesn't give you the shot that you want, you still get to put your ball like 350 yards away from the tee box or whatever. But it was just funny to watch this guy who completely crushes the ball swing out of his shoes, but kind of looked like me in the process, other than the distance.
I think I'm responsible for Chef Michael Faudiger of Edomae becoming an ultramarathoner, because when I wrote about them a decade ago, do you remember this? I was describing him physically and his co-chef Gray at the time physically, and I described Michael as looking something like somebody who would be a long drive champion.
Yep, I do remember that. Like the forearms or something. It was it was an interesting take.
Yeah, it was good. Now he weighs 140 pounds, so you're welcome, chef.
Speaking of queso, is the queso
the queso is accepting entrance, as I understand it from our good friend Adi Anand. But it's not until November.
Oh, okay.
But if people search Quesoff, Quesoff, they're taking entrance, and they take them from the public and from restaurants. Have you ever been to Quesoff?
No, what is that?
Oh, it's a queso contest.
Oh, boy.
There's usually 30. I think I've judged most of the past 10 or 12 years. It is awesome, and it supports the Central Texas Food Bank, and there's always a line. And it's always hot outside. It's in this year. It's in November, so it's not bad. But it's usually in late summer. And I laughed when they first put it on, because I was like, who's going to show up in the heat to go walk around and eat queso? Hundreds of people. There's a line down the block outside of the Mohawk each year when it starts. And so it's a cool event.
Well, and this year's going to be important, because I think I just saw a news story about meals being canceled via grants for the food bank.
God.
So we've got to, everybody's got to go have fun and support these causes that are...
Chip in where they can, if you know what I'm saying.
Hey, there it is. There it is.
Sorry, Jackie.
Stop looking at her.
People don't know that we're at Small Victory, and there's a portrait of President John Fitzgerald Kennedy and Jackie Onassis Kennedy on the wall here, and she's kind of like the Mona Lisa, no matter where you move.
Yeah, she's looking at me. She's looking at you.
Wow. Talented lady.
Am I talking too much? Is she talking too much?
See, it's Jack that I find looking at me, but maybe that's just my skewed perspective.
Scary.
Wow, whoa.
What was the best thing that you ate in this week-long 50th birthday celebration?
Well, it's pretty good. I had dinner Tuesday of that week at Tsuke Edomae, who I should mention to y'all about Chef Michael Shea. Did you see that story I wrote about Chef Michael Shea from Tsuke Edomae?
No.
We'll circle back on him. And then Thursday, which was the actual birthday, my wife and two other couples and I went to Barley Swine for my birthday, which is really on point right now. They always are. I think I've spent more birthdays and special occasions at Barley Swine than probably any other restaurant in town.
That's interesting, because I think we're going out tomorrow night, and Barley Swine came across my brain, and I was like, man, we have not... I don't know that I've been to the new location.
Oh, my God. It's 8 years old.
But they're dialed in?
It's so dialed in. And their service is so great, and, the wine pairings are great. The cocktail program's amazing. And then on Friday, had a birthday party for myself at my sister's house. And
thanks for the invite.
Yeah, sorry about that. Chef, it was a small list. I didn't put it together. It was a surprise. I was fully surprised. Chef Luke Bibby, who is down in Wimberley right now, and used to have Luke's Inside Out trailer outside the Gibson, and has cooked in Austin restaurants for 30 years. He used to cater out at the backyard, cooked for Willie Nelson about 30 times. He made a great spread for the dinner party. So a great week of eating, but I should tell you about Chef Michael Shea from Tsuke Edomae.
Let's hear it.
So we're in there on the 25th. Tsuke Edomae last year tied for number one in my dining guide with Niche to Taqueria and Birdies, which also made some news this week. And we were sitting there, and Chef had told me, hey, I've got some exciting news. And I was like, what is it? And I don't know if the story started with, but at one point his partner, Nee, who is his only employee, his girlfriend that he lives with, said, well, I woke up a couple weeks ago and I looked at our, bank account, and it was several zeros short. And so Chef had to fess up. He had bought 10 non-refundable round-trip tickets to Tokyo for the next 5 months. So what he has done, he sources from Japan exclusively. He staged there about a year and a half ago, worked in a sushiya there with one of his masters, and he became an official licensed importer, and he was getting fish shipped over every Tuesday to Houston, his only day off, and he would drive to Houston 2.5, 3 hours, pick up his fish, load it in his car, and drive back. And as he was driving back recently, he was like, I'm kind of bored of this drive, and it's not quite as exciting as it used to be, and I'm also kind of working alone, and I don't except with knee, and like I'm looking for some inspiration and I want to get better. Like what am I doing? And so he decided, I'm going to fly to Tokyo every other week and pick up my fish. So he now has a 6,500 mile commute every other week. On Tuesdays, he goes to the Austin airport, flies to Tokyo, lands in Tokyo on Wednesday, goes straight to the Sushiya in the afternoon and works an evening shift with his master. So he's getting inspiration, he's learning more and more technique, et cetera, et cetera. Finishes his shift around midnight. They go get a bite to eat, go home, 1:30 in the morning, sleeps for about 4 hours, wakes up, goes to Tosuyo Fish Market, and now he's able to meet the vendors one-to-one, form better relationships, pick out his own fish specifically. So he's getting better and better fish, he hopes, and he hopes that forming these relationships will mean he's getting even better fish when he's not there. Takes all of that fish back to the Sushiya, butchers it, takes out the insides. So now he's taking the fish back to the States with him, and it weighs half as much. So instead of spending $2,000 to ship it, he's spending $1,000 to ship it, and flies it back to Texas on Thursday, lands in Austin on Thursday afternoon, and goes and does Thursday night service at his restaurant in the Mueller development. That's only going to last a couple months. Come September or August, he's doing away with Thursday service. So he'll land Thursday, get some rest, and then 2 services Friday, 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday, 2 Monday. So he's still going to have 8 services a week, and flies to Tokyo on Tuesday. And on the Tuesdays he doesn't fly to Tokyo, he'll still be driving to Houston. So Buc-ee's has not seen the last of him. But yeah, he has a 6,500 mile commute. And I said, are you crazy?
I was going to say the buzzword these days is nearshoring. It's not.
And he said, I'm effing insane. And I was like, yeah, you are. And, and the amazing thing about his restaurant, besides how good it is, and he and his partner are the only ones who work there, is that he charges $135 before 20% service and tax. And the meal costs him, I think, $136. His food cost is about 75 or 80%, which Brian knows, most restaurants, the average is about 30%. And, people that make a lot of money doing this, their food cost might be 17 or 18 or 19%. And there's some sushi restaurants around town who are probably around, 20% or less. He's doing 75% food cost. The way he makes his money is on the 20% service fee and on selling wine and sake, which he also only marks up 2 times. Usually it's marked up 3 to 4.5 times. So I was like, is this performance art? Like, what are you doing?
Well, it just goes back to, the smaller the team, the smaller the space. Yep. If you can make the numbers work.
Yep. He's still doing well. He's making more money than, I am, that's for sure. But, he has a small team. He's got an 8-person place that's situated in what was probably an example 1-bedroom apartment at this modern apartment complex in the Mueller development. So his rent's probably very decent. He only has to pay, he doesn't have to pay anybody. He and his partner share in the profits from the business. And so, yeah, he keeps his costs low, but his food costs are incredibly high. But he's like, I want everybody to be able to come in here and enjoy themselves and not worry about what they're paying and be able to come back. But he could charge twice as much and he would still be booked every night. So it's almost like benevolence.
Well, if he wants to maintain a sort of authenticity, I think he's found the way to do that. As exhausting as that's going to be for him. You said he's going to do this through the summer?
He said he bought tickets for the next 5 months, but I don't see him stopping unless it turns out that he's like much more prone to jet lag than he believes, because he says he doesn't suffer jet lag. And originally he thought he'd do it every week, and then he's like, all right, that's a bit much. So he's going to rack up some real nice frequent flyer numbers.
How many trips is the girlfriend going to be on?
She stays home and holds down the fort. I'm sure she'll go, occasionally. I really want to go with him.
Well, when you were starting to tell the story, I thought where you were headed was like he's going to pick his 10 favorite guests and start taking them with him.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's at least 10 guests of his that would pay to go. I mean, the other crazy thing about his restaurant is that 8 seatings a week, 8 people, so that's 64 times 4 is 256. About 90% of that 256 are regular customers. So he started out at a place called Tsuke Honten, which was a trailer that he had outside of a brewery that no longer exists. You remember the name of that brewery that those brothers owned up in Northwest Austin? I feel bad for not remembering. But anywho, it wasn't
North by Northwest, was it?
No. He had some guests that had already been regulars, and he was doing a little omakase sushi experience certain nights of the week. And so once somebody had been to his restaurant 3 times when he first opened, it allows them to reach out to him directly to book and not have to go through the reservation system. And so 90% of that go to regulars. So when he releases his reservations for about 4 months at a time, there's literally 25 seats a month. So they sell out in seconds, really. It's just a luck of, and I actually got lucky enough, was just refreshing a screen.
It's like once. A fish show.
Yeah, it's like
drink.
It's like Grateful Dead mail order from the 80s. I mean, it's just pure luck. So when you go there and eat, I've been there, probably 4 or 5 times, and usually it's 6 people that are regulars and 2 people that somehow got in for the first time, and it's always fun to see newbies there, but his regulars are fanatical, and I would imagine his regulars probably all think it's the best restaurant in the city.
Okay, so we've just crossed the threshold of fish being mentioned on the show for the very first time. You guys are both going to the show at the Moody Theater. When is that? In August? September?
June 27th.
June 27th. Okay, so this isn't exactly fish, but it's fish adjacent.
Oh, careful.
I just found out that I'm going to be going to Vegas here in a couple of weeks.
Big Head Todd.
Attend the Dead and Friends show at
Sphere.
What date?
My buddy, it's a Friday. I forget which date it is exactly, but my buddy already bought the tickets, so I don't even have to pay for the tickets. I'm just going to experience the Sphere for the very first time. So in a few weeks, I'll have a report on how cool the Sphere is. Have either of you guys been to the Sphere yet?
I have not.
Okay. I have, and I'm going back in May.
What'd you think of it?
I'm going back in May, if that does anything.
For a Dead and Friends show?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
May 15th and 16th, the last weekend of the shows.
Oh, I think I'm going to be there on the 15th, maybe. All right, you and I are going to have to do something there.
Yeah, we'll do something there.
Maybe
lots of something.
Maybe we should record.
Record from Vegas. Well,
maybe take this show on the road.
Yeah, I can probably do 10 minutes. I can probably be upright for 10 minutes. In Vegas.
I can submit a board proposal
we've got
in the next 30 minutes.
I've got an extra for Thursday the 15th.
I mean, Annie, if you're listening.
Hey, Annie, I only get about 4 hall passes a year, and this is one of mine, so that tells you how good it is. But yeah, it is.
Oh, no, I'm going to be there the 9th.
Oh.
Darn it.
Guess we have to be there all week.
Yeah, just pull the hangover and, stay there, indefinitely.
Justine won't have a problem with that, I'm sure.
It lives up to the hype. I don't want to overhype it for you, but I really couldn't, because it is, it's unlike anything you've ever experienced. It is completely immersive. The graphics are mind blowing, and I know that the graphics have gotten better since last year. I'd like to go to Fish, or I'd love to see like a LCD sound system or a Radiohead or something even more mind blowing there.
At the Sphere specifically, because we're going to see LCD sound system next Tuesday. I'm so excited.
At Emos, yeah, that'll be great. But the Dead, they have a long history of. They started originally playing at the Acid Test in San Francisco, which had visual effects, 1965, 1967. And so they're used to having a visual component as part of their experience. So that is all part of their, aesthetic. So it was amazing, and they're a bluesier band, especially with Mayer playing. And I'm not a big John Mayer guy, but
ditto.
The music was great. John Mayer sounded amazing. It almost was like you had wandered into kind of a jam session of a band in their rehearsal space. They were very loose and smiling at each other and laughing, and the music was really loose and bluesy, and the visuals were just insane. I
have limited experience in Vegas, just being there, but certainly eating, and I know there are a lot of good restaurants there. Now, we're planning on going to Jose Andres's place, Bizarre Meats.
You've already been there.
For dinner, and I like that meal a lot, but I'm curious, are there any meals that you make sure you get when you're in Vegas?
I'm not a huge Vegas guy. I ate at Bizarre Meats last time. Jose's business partner, Rob, lives here in Austin, the founder of that Think restaurant group that's now the Jose Andres food group. and he was actually one of the, I think he was employee 3. He was a partner at Amy's Ice Cream when it opened.
Oh, boy.
I love Bizarre Meats. I remember you posted a picture of the whipped foie gras cotton candy. Mm-hmm. We're staying, I think, at the Aria, which has Carbone there. Mm-hmm. But I'm only going to be there for 2 nights, and the show's at 7:30. I'll probably do like some light seafood, grilled seafood, some light appetizers around 5 o'clock, and then head over to the show, because you don't want to be full up of food before you go. Have to stand up and dance and drink a few beers and whatever. So I don't want to get too...
Do they let you stand on your chair?
They won't let you... I am 5'9". Apparently, if you sit in the chairs, you hear the sound also coming out of your...
Yeah, the haptics.
The haptics sound. I stood the whole time, so I didn't really experience that.
That's my plan. Are there people actually sitting at that show?
There were people sitting around us, and there are a few people kind of chit-chatting, but not much. I mean, it's not the kind of show you're going to want to talk at while you're in your seats. I mean, it's fully immersive, and so you don't want anything to take you out of it. But, I mean, it is 180 degrees. Like, you can't see anything except the screen. The trippiest part, well, not the trippiest, but the scariest part is when you first get in. If you're not on the floor, you go up these escalators that are like pitched at like a 65-degree angle, and you're going up and up and up and up, and you think, boy, I better only have a couple IPAs tonight, because coming down this thing is going to be terrifying. And also, Las Vegas, a legal weed state, or Nevada, a legal weed state. So, be careful. Don't overdo it before the show, because the show is plenty psychedelic enough on its own.
Is it a legal mushroom state too?
This seemed like it.
There are I think that I was looking at it, I think that there's 20 states that are currently, and Nevada's one of them, as is Texas.
Psilocybin?
Mainly for treatment of PTSD. And,
treatment for your show experience.
Yeah, treatment for your dead and co-sphere experience. No, but just take your time, tread lightly. Don't need to, like you said, I think the show itself, stone cold sober is probably pretty mind-blowing, so...
Go about 50%. Go about 50% of the way you would if you were going to a show in Texas.
So, having been to the IMAX,
you're going to need Sherpas. This is what. Let's go. You're going to need a Sherpa. Yeah. I'm on board.
Don't plan to FaceTime your wife after the show. Let's put it that way.
I'm totally comfortable petting those goats at the very top of the sphere. So, having been to the IMAX a couple of times, in my opinion, the best place to sit in the IMAX is near the top, so that you're looking down more than looking up. Is that the same thing at the Sphere?
I've only sat in one seat. I moved around a little bit to see. I think the center section in the middle, from what I've told, is the best, and the 200s. Those are pretty pricey. I think 300 just above that is pretty great also. Down on the floor, though, it's like you're on the moon, like full blown experience. So I think the floor and the 200s in the middle.
Yeah, I've heard 200s from my buddy that was at Fish. He stayed for the Sunday show and was just like smack dab in the middle, and just was, the pictures he sent were just insane. When
we walked in, we were like stage right in the 400s and kind of off to the side. And I was like, I hope, we still get to experience it. Was not a problem. It takes some settling in, especially like during drums and spit. Right when it started, I was like, am I going to be able to make it through 2.5 hours of this? Because it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
But then once you kind of give yourself over to it, it's like any kind of experience of, once you kind of give yourself over to it and let your anxiety recede, it is quite the journey.
That's what I always say about youth sports coaching. Hey, speaking of psychedelia, the NBA playoffs have officially started.
And the Rockets are playing a team out of the Bay.
You're a Rockets fan. Mm-hmm. You are an Oklahoma City fan, Brian Stubbs. Let's start on the Rocket side of things. You guys have a chance to kill a giant these playoffs with the Rockets going up against Golden State, albeit a giant that is limping pretty heavily and has type 2 diabetes. But how confident are you that the Rockets can take care of business against this Warriors team that, they do have Jimmy Butler now, but they are also pretty over the hill?
Yeah, I think the Rockets are going to be able to go big against them. And then the main thing is we're just going to be able to athleticize them. The Rockets are an insane group of athletes. We don't have, knockdown, dead-eye shooters, unfortunately. But yeah, the the Warriors knocked us out, I think, in 2018, 2019. Amazingly, as much as I love to hate on James Harden, if Chris Paul hadn't tweaked his hammy there at the end of Game 6, the Rockets were right at the door of being the only team to ever really beat the Warriors at full strength.
Yep.
The Warriors ended up, losing to the Raptors, but by then they didn't have Durant, and by the end of the series they didn't have Clay either. So the Rockets were actually the closest team to ever beating them, but I didn't really love cheering for the Rockets back then because I hate the way James Harden plays basketball, but I love this team. I mean, I don't love the way we don't have anybody to shoot at the end of games. I don't love Fred VanVleet shooting three-pointers. I don't love Jalen Green shooting three-pointers. So I think I'd be happy to trade like 2 of our wings and 3 of our draft picks for Devin Booker or somebody that can shoot the lights out. But and Steph is probably one of my 3 favorite players of all time. So I hope Steph scores 50 a game and that the Rockets win in 6. But yeah, we have incredible athletes. I mean, Tari Eason would start for 25 teams in the league, and he plays about 18 minutes a game. Amen Thompson, I think, is gonna really stud out, and people are gonna get to see him for the first time. But I like the Rockets. I bet the Rockets, if gambling were legal, I bet the Rockets yesterday at plus 155. So the Rockets are a 2 seed, and I think the Warriors started out minus 200. Now they're minus 185 or something. So the Rockets are almost 2-1 odds against them as a 2 seed with home court advantage, which is pretty wild. But yeah, Jimmy Butler seems to turn it on. He turned it on the other night against Memphis in the play-in game.
He's the ultimate competitor.
And he's from H-Town. Yep. I love Jimmy Butler, so I could see Jimmy Butler really wanting to show out. But,
did he go to Kilgore JUCO before he ended up at Illinois?
He went somewhere, some JUCO, but that sounds about right. He is the, what I really love is Ime Udoka, our coach, who gets after it. He was basically calling Steph a crybaby to his face the other day. He called LeBron a B word earlier this year. I mean, he's a dog, and he gets his guys to play like dogs. You've already seen Steve Kerr was out there the other day after we beat them badly at the end of the season, talking about how things are ref differently this year and how Steph gets grabbed coming off screens and he gets pulled. And so they're going to be sending tape to the office. He's going to be all up in the NBA's business. And look, if they win and the Lakers win, you've got LeBron versus Steph in the second round of the playoffs. It's going to be an uphill battle. I'm not saying it's going to be like the Lakers versus Sacramento or the Blazers in terms of, getting completely screwed by the refs, but it's going to be 6-on-5, I think. And so the Rockets are going to have to really earn it. They might have to win 5 games in this series.
Rockets are the 2 seed. The 1 seed is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Opponent TBD based on the Mavs and Grizzlies.
That's right.
Squaring off. I would assume that you're a little bit not scared necessarily, but you would probably rather play Dallas than Memphis, correct? Just because of the Ja Morant effect?
Yes, but Dallas has a weird... It's like Dallas kind of has OKC's number more than you would think. In a weird way, there is a rivalry there.
They're missing a player, Dallas.
Yes.
A few players, actually.
Yeah. But even without him, and then without some of them, it's just... I mean, they had... I'm a casual Thunder fan. I'm not nearly as deep into the Thunder as Matthew is into the Rockets, but maybe it's my natural state of being, but there is some nervousness, right? You come off one of the greatest, regular seasons and top 10 regular seasons in NBA history. You've got everything going your way, all the momentum. There's a little bit of kind of preparing for heartbreak or something not going our way.
Oklahoma little brother situation,
Well, I don't know about that, but basketball is relatively new. But no, look, I think my thing is that one of the reasons why they can have such a successful regular season is that they are young and they consistently play good defense, and everybody plays better defense in the playoffs, right? It's like the game gets stepped up. And so it's kind of is Oklahoma City Thunder, are they as dominant in the playoffs as they were during the regular season? It's going to TBD, and you catch a Ja Morant, you catch somebody on a heater, all of a sudden you don't have an answer for it. So, but Lou Dort, he tends to shut down most scorers in the league. So we'll see. I mean, I'll be watching. I'll be excited. I mean, I'm excited for. It would be amazing for the city to, host a conference final. I mean, to get back to the NBA final would be incredible.
You guys might get unlucky. You guys have to play the win. If y'all win, when you win, I imagine it's Thunder in 5. Then you play the winner of the Clippers-Nuggets series. And if Kawhi stays healthy, the Clippers have probably been one of the 2 best teams in the league for the last month. So it would be tough that finally OKC makes it to this level and then they run into Kawhi Leonard and James Harden and Zubats in the second round of a 9-player deep Clippers team.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
You got to earn it.
Yeah, you got to earn it. You got to earn it. But
unless you're the Dallas Mavericks last year.
But the nice thing that the Thunder have is youth and a full cupboard of draft picks remaining. So if it's not this year, it's not going away anytime soon.
And the power of prayer, from my experience in Oklahoma City.
I think. Well, no comment.
All right, I think it's a good idea to end every show with food wreck. So, anything that you've had for the first time or something that you really enjoy that is worth a shout out at the end of today.
I dipped into Micklethwait barbecue the other day for the first time. It was a trailer for 11 or 12 years as Micklethwait Craft Meats on East 11th Street. And they've moved into their own building. They renovated a church on the east side. They have a huge sprawling patio, some really cool kind of vintage design inside. And that pulled lamb and those jalapeno cheese grits and their beets with caraway seeds, their brisket, everything they do is really good. And so it was exciting to go in and see them be able to level up and meet the mark. They're definitely one of the top 5 barbecue restaurants in Austin. So it was cool to see them once again, another conversion of trailer to restaurant. Franklin did it. Leroy and Lewis did it. Now they've done it. And so that was one of the best things I've eaten in the last couple of weeks.
I haven't been eating very much. I'm going to go with the drinking.
Let's do it.
Meanwhile, Brewery, I got to give, I mean, they've
really blown up. I'm seeing them all over the place.
They're just so good. I mean,
good.
they're just by far my favorite brewery in town right now. And I hopped in there the other day. And I was not intentional.
Thank you.
I'm not 50 years old.
How's that yeast infection doing, by the way? Sorry, I'm just trying to continue with the puns.
Yeah, I absolutely loved just sitting there. Had a little Secret Beach Topo Chico. Got myself a new hat.
They've got a new special West Coast IPA that's been out for a couple weeks now that I had the other day. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great place to hang if you haven't been down south to visit them. They've got distant relatives, the barbecue truck. They've got what's the pizza place?
Side-Eye Pizza, one of the best pizzas in town. Distant Relatives, one of the best barbecue in town.
Huge backyard. The other place I'm going to shout out.
I thought you just and now you're stoked because you and Goose play sand volleyball down there now, right?
That's right.
You have sand volleyball over there?
They just finished their sand volleyball court.
Just perked my ears.
There we go. And then the other place I popped into, and I don't know if I mentioned this. I did maybe at Holiday, but the 1972 for the women's championship game.
Nice. How was that?
It was great. It was a great vibe, full house. So those are two places that I've had. I think I was forced to order Pine House there, but
I like their pizza.
No, not the pizza, the beer.
Oh, the beer. Well, Jellyfish is great.
I like the beer more than the pizza.
I don't know. Well, okay, this is like we're treading on like prayer pizza territory. I'm not gonna speak ill will of somebody. It's not my thing. Go to Meanwhile, have a side-eye pie, watch your sports there.
You know what? Also, Side-Eye makes some of the best wings in town.
Good to know.
Really good.
Yeah. So
And
Meanwhile Brewery, that's my shout out.
What about you, Trey?
I will shout out. I'm a sucker for a good dessert, especially a good cookie. I'm going to shout out the Flower Shop Bakery on Burnett Road. I don't know how many people know about this.
PFLOUR?
So it originated in Pflugerville.
Gotcha.
So they call it's the Flower Shop Bakery, but it's got the P on the front there. Incredible cupcakes, but in my opinion, one of the best chocolate chip cookies in the city. I want to say they're closed on Sunday and Monday, but Tuesday through Saturday, go there And it's just a really good cookie. They've got a variety there as well. The Snickerdoodles are good. They've got an M&M chocolate chip cookie. So yeah, if you're looking for something to grab dessert-wise after you've had a really good meal on Burnett Road, go to the Flower Shop.
And remember, the P is silent.
Last question. How many Cadbury eggs are you going to eat this weekend?
My wife loves a Cadbury egg, so
Ew.
I'll buy 12 or so, but I won't eat any.
The cream in the middle, that's what gets me.
Very specific, you know.
The mini eggs. That's how you negate that.
That's how you do that?
It's the right chocolate to cream ratio.
Oh, yeah. It's just like the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Yeah.
The Reese's eggs.
Well,
are really
I heard
good
that they're
because
now
of the
making
ratio.
Reese's peanut butter bunnies, which I could get into.
Entirely too much peanut butter.
They really are. That's a good call. There's way too much peanut butter in those things. That is a MPV fail. Call those minor product variations.
There you go.
With that.
There you go. Bringing the
business school.
Bringing the heat to close out the show. Great job, Matthew.
Good
Glad to
stuff,
have you
fellas.
back.
Yeah, indeed.
It's good to be back. See you guys next month.